Welcome back to the BFR podcast presented by Sports Mockery. You can find all things Chicago sports over there. My name is Dave. I'm joined by my co-host Ficky. You can follow me on Twitter at Dave_BFR. Follow Ficky at It's Ficky Baby on all socials. I cover the Bears for SportsMockery.com. Again, this podcast is presented by them. So check out SportsMarket.com for all the sports, all the latest on Chicago sports. So, Ficky, man, we have Bears versus Lions. Justin Fields is returning. It's a hell of a game to kind of return to, but nonetheless, 7 games left. A lot to talk about, man. But first of all, how you doing?
Oh, yeah. Man, it sounds like I'm doing better than you because it sounds like you're recovering from a sickness. And I just got sick like a month ago, like back to back. And yeah, that sucks. So hopefully you get your voice back and everything's good. But for me, personally, how exciting is this game? We've been waiting for this moment. Right? We've been waiting. What's it been 6 weeks, Dave? Or because Beijing went 2-2, so 5 weeks, right? We've been waiting to see
feels like 5 months.
It does, right? Especially because like we say this every pod, right? We say this every pod. The whole point of this season was to figure out if Fields is our quarterback moving forward. So the fact that we didn't get to see him play, and then also it takes away from answering that question, bro, I've been feeling like a crackhead with the itch waiting for Fields to get back. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm hyped. Whether win or lose, like at least it feels like Christmas. I don't know what the present's going to look like, but I see the presents under the tree. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that just gets me, gets the hope up. So what about you? How you doing?
Yeah, well, like you said, I feel a little bit better. I've been fighting something, and it's winning a little bit. I don't know exactly how I sound, how I'm coming across, but my energy levels are back, so I feel fine. Justin Fields has me in a little bit better spirits. I'm excited about this game. I don't know if I could have taken another Tyson Bagent start. That would have been rough. I mean, even last week against damn, I can't remember who we played. The Panthers. Bryce Young on Thursday night. I mean, I wasn't even looking forward to that really, except for the draft status, of course. So,
of course,
I'm feeling good, man. Bears versus Lions. 7 games left. There's just a lot to kind of get to. So for the show, we're gonna go ahead and go. We'll get to our bold predictions. We got some news today or this week has kind of been quiet in regards to this press conferences, which is, I guess, kind of nice.
Crazy. Yeah,
but it has been cool to kind of have, some funny, weeks where it was just kind of crazy. But now we have Montez Sweat, who's in his 3rd week as a Bear. We have a couple news here. So we'll start, I guess, with the line, offensive line before we get to the quarterbacks. But offensive line is making a slight change. We have right guard Nate Davis is back. They're pushing Tevin Jenkins over to left guard, which is good for him. He honestly was very, very good on the right side too. Yeah. But it'll be nice to have, Nate Davis, Darnell Wright, kind of get some more chemistry going there. But this is the best line that Justin's probably had. We have Cody Whitehair, who's benched. He's going to be 6th man coming in, which is a really good problem to have. And shout out to him. I know there's a great tweet by Kyle Long. I was going to go ahead and bring it up. Just talked about how, friend of the pod, just how amazing of a, first of all, not just football player, but just guy, personable. He's been with the Bears for a very long time.
Long time.
Exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and find this tweet, but a lot of changes there, some good changes, Ficky. So how are you feeling about, Justin in that line, where he's coming back to?
Man, I'm so excited. Like, I say it, we are broken records at this point, but it is important. Like the offensive line and defensive line, trenches, right? And so we've only seen pieces of like good things, right? It was like Braxton Jones looked good, then he gets injured, he's out. Darnell Wright, rookie, he's been in the whole time, so that's good. Nate Davis doesn't start, from week 1, his, dealing with his family issue, right? And then he comes in, looks great. He's taken away. So we get a tease of that. Then there's the shifting of back and forth from Lucas Patrick to center, Cody Whitehair to center. And so there's just been a lot of shifting pieces. So it's nice to see that we finally have it where I think this is the best 5 out. And I actually feel really good about the line as a whole, like even moving forward, because Nate Davis is on a 3-year deal. I think that's going to pan out well. Tevin Jenkins is going to get an extension. Best player on our offensive line, no question. Braxton Jones, I think the highest rated pass blocker on our team, like other than some penalties he gets, but like he's been holding his own against some good defensive line. And then our Darnell Wright, who's the best rookie tackle as of now, right? We can only we'll see where he goes in a couple of years. But having that 4 moving forward is great. And then now when we look at the offseason in the draft and free agency, we really just have to focus on one position, obviously filling depth and things like that. But that's great, right? It's always great to have a good offensive line because we already running the ball well. I think we're the second in rushing, I believe, or otherwise we're top 5. And then passing, I think we have the opportunity to do it now that Fields has that line because we have the weapons. We just need Fields to deliver, which we'll talk about. But I think it is very important that it's finally, I'd say the team is at a point right now, at least injury-wise, that Fields comes in. There's really not many excuses left. Because before you could even say like, hey, his offensive line's banged up. Oh, the defense, we had 4 corners out. I mean, like 4 of the secondary was out. You know what I mean? And for the first time, like Khalil Herbert's back. The defensive side, pretty much everyone's healthy besides Tremaine Edmonds. And then on the offensive side, we're pretty much set. So hopefully Fields can really show us who he can be and then answer that very, 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 very important question that we've said from week 1. Is this a guy? Or are we talking about Caleb Williams and Drake May?
Hey, that's if we can get Caleb May, just mix those 2 quarterbacks together, those prospects. I think we'll finally have our guy.
Dave, I saw something. Oh my gosh, Bears Twitter, I love them. I love the fans, but I saw something that was just wild. Someone said, he said our first 2 picks, if they end up being 1 and 2, should just be both the quarterbacks. And I was like, no, but it just reminded me of them. Like you just we have 3 quarterbacks on the team, but you'd find out. I mean, if it's a lottery ticket, right, with gambling, one of those has to hit, you know what I mean? So maybe it's not that far-fetched of an idea anyways.
The problem is how would you figure out which one hits? Would you have to just rotate games? You're starting week 1, week 2, and just go from there. However, if both hit, man, you kind of pick, whichever one's better, whatever, has the higher ceiling. And then you just go ahead and trade the other one.
The fact that we're even talking about this. Yeah. The fact that we even talk about this hypothetical, I don't think a team's ever done that. Now,
it's on the table.
Thing, absolutely anything with this organization, anything's on the table. And the fact that we haven't really, like Fields could be that scratch off on the lottery ticket that pays off. We don't know that yet, but we haven't had that true hit from like the beginning. I wouldn't even put it past us. Like if they did it, I'd be like, yo, that's weird as hell. But I'd also be like, I understand. Like you're desperate. We need to figure this out. So, but I honestly don't think our own pick will be 2. Like the Giants without Daniel, and say what you want about Daniel Jones, but even without him, I can't remember that backup Tito or something like that. Whatever. He's not,
Giants guy?
Yeah, he's not the guy either. So I don't expect them to win another game if I'm being honest. So I don't think that. So I don't think we'll slip down that far.
I don't think so either. So in regards to our running ability, you talked about is a top 5. It's actually top 3 in the NFL right now, according to PFF. It's very, very good. Our run defense, however, is number 1. So it's like the Lions, they like to run the ball. And we're going to get to our keys to the game and our bold predictions, but they like to run. Simple as that. But so do the Bears. And so the fact that they're coming in against the number 1 rushing defense that stops the run, it's just going to be interesting to kind of see whose will kind of prevails here. Is it going to be, the high flying Lions 7-2 or the Bears who are trying to make a kind of like a comeback that the Lions made? I know a lot of people are kind of have talked about the Bears possibly being the Lions of last year, kind of getting going, with Justin Fields returning, all these other factors, which I have to see it to believe it. There's no damn way right now that I believe that, just because it's a really tough schedule. It is ironic that the Lions finished last year against the Packers, and ended up beating them and not letting them in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers leaves. Bears have that ability too, with the Packers. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is gone, but you got Jordan Love.
I don't think they're going to be
game.
Yeah, but they won't be fighting for a playoff spot. At least not what we've seen so far. So they'll already be knocked out at that point.
Absolutely. But the Bears, as far as draft position goes, Carolina's still number 1, 1-8. They're the only 1-win team in the NFL, followed by the Giants, who are 2-8. The Patriots, who are sneaky, 2-8. They could potentially get, I don't know. Mac Jones is bad. So
he is. No, he is.
But he's
garbage.
not Giants or Carolina bad as far as quarterback play goes there. And Bryce Young, I mean, not to knock him, but I don't see anything special. So I don't see him moving the needle.
Well, Bryce Young is the best quarterback situation out of the three of those, but like I look at Bryce Young and be like, he may not be special, but it's not. But his team doesn't have weapons. Like it just doesn't. You know what I mean? Other than Adam Thielen, he really doesn't have really much on that end. So, but the thing is, they're not gonna. They probably won't win this week because the Panthers have the Cowboys. So I think we're safe there. I don't know about the other two teams. The thing is with the Patriots, though, they'll sneak out a win. Mac Jones and whoever, if he's playing, like they sneak out some wins, even being garbage. Actually, I think one of their wins this year wasn't it the Bills or something? It was like a highly ranked team, and they somehow got a W.
Been, man.
So
I cannot.
No, I think it was Miami. I think it was Miami. I think they beat Miami. Okay. So they might sneak out one that like doesn't put them in there. I think our biggest competition is going to be the Giants. So hopefully they get a win somehow because the NFC East isn't that strong. Like maybe they beat Commanders or something like that. I don't know, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. It is going to be interesting. And then Arizona 2-8, but they have Kyler Murray back. I think they're definitely going to win a few games just because he is pretty damn good. So that's good for us. So the Bears are then number 5, followed by Green Bay, who is number 6, who's 3-6, which still I know you say it a lot, but I can't believe we got blown out by them week 1. Looking back at that loss, it's like so surprising because they're not good, but
they're good against us. That's all that matters. It's
wild
the Packers.
Times.
You know what I mean? Definitely wild times. That feels like 2 years ago, to be honest. But you know what, though, Dave? I will say this. If we were to play the Packers right now, I think we could beat them. That might be a bold take, but I think we could beat them. Our defense has been trending up and up and up and up and up. The defense is playing like a easily top 15 defense right now. And then I don't know. I just feel a little bit more. They have been like downward in like team morale and like how they're playing and the games are. And we've been up and up. Like we're 3-3 in our last 6. And 2 of the games we were in it till like, the last kind of drive or last 2 drives. So, and that's with the backup. So I just feel like we're probably, the bet. I think we're on projected to go a little bit higher. I expect us to get more wins than the Packers moving forward. I don't know their schedule per se, but I can see
if we lose week 17 against Green Bay, I know it's in Lambeau, but that would be very disappointing and almost. I keep on saying fireable offense, but at this point they can do whatever they want and not get fired. But the defense is trending. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I actually had a question for you on week 17 because I saw a tweet today about like draft position, right? So I'm going to read it here. It's from Max Markham, NFL. If you know Bears Twitter, you've probably seen this guy before. But he said, some Bears fans have called me insane for wanting the Bears to lose out in a lost season. Here's how important losing out becomes. I'm going to give you examples of years. 2013, Bears get Kyler Fuller. Lose one more game, you get Aaron Donald or OBJ. 2014, Bears get Kevin White. By the way, Kyle Fuller is a good pick. I think he had a great career with us. But 2014, Bears get Kevin White. Lose one more game, you get Brandon Sheriff, who I think is still in the league, or Leonard Williams, both dogs. 2015, Bears get Leonard Floyd. Lose one more game, you get Jalen Ramsey, DeForest Buckner, or Ronnie Staley. All still good today. 2017, lose one more game, you don't need to trade up for Trubisky. That doesn't matter as much. 2023, if the Bears, and then 2023, if the Bears win one more game, we're no longer in position to trade back for a haul. So the question is like, as obviously as a coaching and a player perspective, 2017 Packers, you're trying to win that. But if we're completely out, right, and maybe Flus does have job security because there's some reports by like some of the national media that he has it, do we lose that game? Like, is that game even important to win, And that might be too speculative because we have 6 more games in between. We don't know where we're going to be laid at, but I kind of want to know your thoughts.
For me, it's like the Bears, they don't really like last year. They don't have to tank their own pick because of Carolina having their own. So I understand Max's tweet, like, I don't know if maybe he wants to get like 2 top 5 picks. For me, I think Carolina being number 1 is I think they have the highest chances out of anybody right now. It was like really high percent, like 37%, just based on everything, strength of schedule. And then roster, they take in a lot of different considerations for that. So for me, it's like, I just want this team to win. I want to see what Justin is. However, you ask me, 5 months from now, it's like, if everything kind of goes to shit and Justin isn't the answer, isn't the guy, of course I would probably want a top 3 picks, 2 top 5 picks, something
Right.
along those lines. But right now I don't care. I just, as long as the Panthers keep losing and that's number 1, you're going to get a haul if you do trade that number 1 pick again, if that's how it ends up kind of, being. For me, it's like the Bears need to win. I think their roster is good enough to, win a couple of these games, maybe go 3-4, 4-3 out of these last 7. Obviously, it's going to take some really good performances. It's going to take Justin to really take not just a step, but really remain consistent. That's the biggest thing with him, because I think people forget before he left, he was playing pretty good football. Sure, his first half against the Vikings was tough, but that's also against the coaching and the scheme and everything they kind of went away from the 2 games prior to that. So for me, it's like Justin has shown some progress. Now we're going to have to, see him consistently do it over the last 7 games, and then we'll have some big decisions to make. So for me, I think it's a good question by Max, but
I got a follow up for you then, right? Because consistency we've heard, right? But what? Yeah, thank God for that one. King polls on that one. But what do you define as consistency, right? Because I saw Getsy was asked about consistency, I think today, and this is his definition, and this was reported by Zach Pearson. He said, it always starts with taking care of the football, right? I think that's the starting point for anybody on the offense, specifically the quarterback. And then just like that, what I was mentioning before, it's about getting better and progressing each and every week, right? And so I think there were really cool parts of the season when we saw that from him, right? And unfortunately, the jury comes out. So let's get back on track with that and continue to grow together. First off, Getsy uses right like it's a period. It's after every sentence. But he's basically saying his idea of consistency is not turning the ball over, right? Obviously progressing, getting better every week, but that's every player. So for you, right, how do you define consistency? What will you be looking for game after, week after week to be like, okay, that's good enough for us to move forward?
Yeah, for me, consistency you'd have to start with the passing. It would have to be over 200 plus yards a game. Obviously, 60% or more completion percentage. Like to see 65. And then the other one is going to be turnovers. Limit those, both turnovers and sacks. I think a big key that we'll kind of touch on here is Tyson Bagent and what he did well, which was eliminating the sacks altogether. So for me, again, would be less turnovers and less sacks, and that would be, but it would have to be all of those things together consistently. It can't just have 2 out of the 5 or 3 out of the 5. I would like around 4 to 5. So if you have
what's your cap? Like, because we have 7 games, realistically, he may not ball out in all 7. Like that's
out of all those games. Yeah.
If you see like 5 out of 7, is that 4 out of 7?
I think 5 out of 7 is fair, but I would prefer 6 out of 7. I know it's the NFL, man. Like this is a big decision to make. I really like Drake May. We'll get into that quarterback talk prospects next week. But I've been, obviously I've been watching him a little bit, been hearing some really good things. Some guys that, understand football at a, much higher level than me are really starting to key on Drake May. Obviously, Caleb Williams is great, but it's like there's these prospects here that you might not be able to pass up if Fields really does not prove he's the guy. So for me, it's like I think 6 out of 7 games have to be great or good to great. And that's it.
I would say that. I would say 5 have to be good above. You can have the other 2 be mid, but you can't have any where you're like, wow, you shat the bed. Like there can't be one where you didn't do anything. You know what I mean? They all have to be mid or above, and then 5 out of them have to be like good or above, which would be like your 200 yards, maybe like 2 touchdowns. And your ratios like on turnovers is like 2 to 1 or something like that, or 2.5 to 1, something in that area. It's not exact stats, but we should walk out. Look, you should be able to take away from the game and be like, that's a check mark or that's an X. You know what I mean? And we want at least 5 check marks. At least that's how I'm viewing it.
Yeah. The thing with me is if you have the number 1 pick, say the Panthers do get you that, and they, for the second year in a row, you're picking number 1. I don't think you can trade out of it unless you know for sure Justin's guy. So it can't be like, he played okay 3, 4, 5 games. No, it needs to be a definitive answer, at least for me. And I don't know how Ryan Poles and everyone sees it over in at House Hall, but it's like I would think that this is there has to be like a almost 100% guarantee Justin is the guy. Otherwise, you probably go another way. And
you have to.
I know they have his rights. They have him for another year, and then they have the fifth year option. So it is enticing perhaps to trade back, go get Marvin Harrison Jr., build around, build the roster to the best of its ability. But if you still have a question mark at the quarterback position, that sucks. You'd be kind of looking like the Giant, 49ers too, before Brock Purdy, when they had Trey Lance. So, I mean, there's so many scenarios here. It's just a really good place to be in, though. I know we talk about like, oh, this sucks or blah, blah. No, you could be the Panthers. We talked with our guy, Matt, last week for the Stay Hot podcast, where they don't have any picks. We own them all.
You have nothing to look for.
Bryce Young is, honestly is not moving the needle, and you could just be in a really bad spot. But the Bears,
are you saying he's coming up? Are you saying he's coming up short? Is that what you're saying? Bryce Young's coming up short?
Yeah, a little bit short. Yeah. Yeah, just by a couple inches.
Sorry, I had to throw in a pun there. My bad.
No, I almost didn't catch it. That's how I feel like that's how sick I am. I'm like, I'm not even catching these. But it is funny, Ficky. It is funny.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Anyways, you threw me off with that one. But I think but
you're right. It's to piggyback of what you said, like to the value of a draft pick that high, it's very hard. First off, I don't know how many teams have gone back to back one. I think maybe the Browns, because they've always been garbage for a long time.
Rare.
Yeah, it's rare. And to even just get it in general is tough. I think the Bears had never had a first overall pick until last year. Was that their first one ever, I think? At least in the Super Bowl era.
I bet it's even more rare to get it like 1 year being like your own pick and then next year being someone else. I don't think that's ever happened. That is unique and hilarious.
But that adds on to the point that it adds up to the point that like, if Fields not the dude, like you're not getting a number one again. You know what I mean? Like you're not going back to back to back. It's not happening. I'm just going to tell you right now. So if Fields, you don't have that definite assertive yes, then you got to use that one. Even with two, right? Because I think May is in that same conversation. Or if May goes first, Caleb's a great consolidate, a number two. So yes, these next 7 games might be Fields' last interview. Or, it's either, these next 7 games determine if Fields is going to be in the team or not. So I think he's going to put his best foot forward, and we're going to see what happens. But thank God that Poles made that trade, and we have that overall number one, because it does make the future a little bit brighter, because you're like, oh, we have a safety net over here. You know what I mean? That we don't even have to worry about, because it's not even us. It's not even our pick.
We have a comment here before we kind of move on is Steven from Facebook goes, get the Lions OC in as head coach to rejuvenate Fields' career, trade back the number one, get MHJ and another edge. And then he said, Ben Johnson can fix Goff. I guarantee he can fix Fields.
You know what might be easier, or at least as an offensive coordinator, maybe, I don't know. It depends on how the offseason works. But you know who just got fired from the Bills? Ken Dorsey. So I was looking at this chart, and it's basically showing like offensive coaches ranking based off like data. It was like pretty in depth, but I think it was like an EPA per play or something like that. And Ken Dorsey's number 5. Like their offense is still good. Their defense is what sucks for the Bills, and that's why they've been losing. And Ben Johnson was 8. So, is there a way that, maybe Flus comes back next year and Getsy doesn't, and you bring in someone like Ken Dorsey? That's a possibility. You know what I mean? Because if Flus is staying, you're not getting Johnson. You're not going to do a lateral move. That barely happens. Eric Bieniemy did it. Bieniemy just did it. But like that doesn't happen that very often. It's normally a vertical move. So I wouldn't get our hopes up on that yet, unless we feel, unless there's more rumbling that Flus is gone. And at this point, it doesn't feel like that's going to be the case based off the pressers we've heard. So,
yeah. I mean, I want to get into I don't want to get into the OC and who we could kind of have to kind of come in here after Flus if he does end up leaving, just because I feel like we're going to have so many episodes to kind of get into that.
Many.
So I want to, because it's so intriguing. I do like Ben Johnson a lot. I really, really do. But we'll just go ahead and table that. I want to move to kind of our bold predictions for this game. Before I do, you talked about the defense playing well. One a couple stats here. This is from True Media Sports. Adam Johns went ahead and tweeted it out. Give him the credit. But the Bears' run defense right now, we talked about, is first in the NFL. Pass defense is 19th. Now, this is the last 6 games, like you said, Ficky, for these rankings. So they're 3-3. This is where they rank in those last 6 games. And I think you can kind of even credit this turnaround. You said it, to Flus kind of taking over play calling.
Absolutely.
With Alan Williams kind of heading out the door. Total yards, 6th, which I think is very impressive. And then third down percentage, 12th. Explosive play percentage, 1st, meaning they've given up the least explosive plays.
Well, think about that. That's what the defense is based around. That's why you play that soft cover two. Yeah, it's a soft cover 2. So you're giving the offense those, first 3 to 5 yards. So you know what I mean? So I'm not surprised by that one at all.
Total team defense EPA is 5th. So, I mean, right then and there, the defense is really showing just progress. Now, you can throw in the teams that they've played, and it's going to get a lot harder. I think the Lions, they put up points. They put up 41 last week.
They're pretty good.
But they also gave up 38. So,
well, their defense. So I saw this one. I can't remember where I saw it, but their defense has given up 30 points in the past, I think it's like 4 games. So their defense is nothing to brag about. They may be getting turnovers here and there, but this team is 7-2 because of how dynamic that offense is. So I'm not too concerned about that defense, to be honest. Not this week. Now Cleveland, the next week, that's the defense we need to worry about.
Absolutely. So, Ficky, I'm going to go ahead and bring in. We're going to go ahead and start our bold predictions here. I went ahead and already got an article up on sportsmarket.com. Just 3 bold predictions for the Bears-Lions game. So I'm going to go here with these ones, unless you take take one of them.
Hopefully not.
But I'm going to let you start. Okay. I'm going to let you start. Before I do, if you are here for the first time, or if you stuck around, go ahead and hit the like button on YouTube if you're listening or watching there. It really does help support the pod. We are doing a Bears jersey giveaway this Sunday. It is going to be, let me see if I can find it here. Well, anyways, there's not much to say. It's a Bears jersey giveaway. How it works is, if you're subscribed to the pod, you follow me, Ficky, and the podcast on Twitter or X, you are automatically entered into it. We will go ahead and pick a winner Sunday after the Bears beat the Lions, of course. No, we'll probably do it even before then.
Yeah, probably before.
How it works is, we'll go ahead and do a random. Ficky's got this little wheel. He'll spin it. Whoever the winner lands on, we'll DM the winner. We'll get you your information. We'll let you pick the jersey you want, and we're just going to go ahead and order it, and it'll be shipped to you automatically. But again, that's our support. We hit over 2K subscribers on YouTube. So that is our giveaway there. We've been really excited about this one. We're already on the road to 3,000, it's going pretty quick. You guys have shown some love. So if you want to go ahead and, subscribe, be a part of that, just go ahead and follow us on Twitter. And then we will go ahead and get you automatically entered into that giveaway. So again, it could be a Bears legend. If you don't want to pick a current player and you want to stay it safe, go get maybe like a Urlacher, Hester, Cutler, if you like that, Forte, any of those guys. We just want to go ahead and show some love for you guys who've been supporting the pod. So go ahead and like the video. Go ahead.
Or it could be a jersey. We had someone on Twitter that said they want Trenton Gill, so it could be Trenton Gill too if that's what you want. So,
and I held him to that. I said, hey, I want to pull up his name too. I know we're getting off track here, but that was funny. It was Loretto, Chill Loretto on Twitter. He goes, I would like a Trenton Gill jersey, please and thank you. I said, if you win, that's what you're getting. No going back.
Yeah, but you see his comment after that was, "You're acting like this is a pun." He said, "You're acting as if this is a punishment." So he really wants it.
You say this as if it's a punishment, man. I love it. Trenton Gill jersey. I almost hope he wins. That would be so funny.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
that would be great.
But we are excited. Again, sportsmockery.com presented, or this podcast is presented by them. Go ahead and check them out. I write over there multiple articles a week. And again, all the love, our Apple, Spotify listeners as well. If you don't have to subscribe, or since you kind of listen in a different way, just go ahead and follow the pod. And that will automatically enter you in there too. So we don't want to forget about you guys. Maybe we'll do something a little special for those listeners, see if we can get some data there. But again, just the overall support. I know Ficky feels the same way. We appreciate it. So
Hell
Go
yeah.
to 3,000 before the Super
Hell
Bowl
yeah.
this year. I think that's the goal. So
We can do it.
before the Bears win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's no, we can't do that. Yeah,
If the Bears win a Super Bowl, man, we'll just
oh,
retire
you mean before the Bears win the Super Bowl? Well, I mean that
this
I
year.
feel like that. Oh, this year? Okay.
No,
Yeah,
no.
you're
I think
you're
we can get
talking
to
out your
3,000
butt.
before the Bears win a Super Bowl. I think that's possible.
Oh yeah, easily. Well, at the rate this, we don't know when that could be 50 years from now. So I hope we could get get to 3,000 at this rate. I don't know.
Anyways, so we just going on a tangent, but again, just
always
appreciate the love. We got a super chat here. Ficky, do you want to bring it up before we get into our bold predictions?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. So we got one from our man Tito again. If it shows, there we go, $2. We appreciate that. Tito it says, "How do we get the jersey?" So
I think we said it.
Yeah. So all you have to do is subscribe to the pod, which I'm sure you already are. Go ahead and follow Dave on Twitter, which is Dave_BFR, I believe. Then you can follow me at It's Ficky Baby on Twitter, and then follow the pod, which is BFR_pod, I believe. And once you do all those 4 things, you'll automatically be entered in. I'm going to do a wheel, find the winner, and then we will DM you. Let's say if you were to win, Tito, we DM you on Twitter. If you have a Twitter, we'll find a way to reach out to you in some form or fashion, and then you'll pick the jersey you want, and we'll send it to you. We'll get all the information we need.
The easiest way for us to kind of get this figured out or get it like, to make it smooth is if you can, even if you don't have a Twitter, just go ahead and make one real quick. You can delete it after we get you the jersey and everything, but it's just a little bit easier so we can DM you. It makes it easier on everybody, but that's the best way. If not, we'll have to figure it out. But yeah,
we'll figure it out.
I think we're good there.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll make sure that the winner gets your jersey of your choice.
Someone's getting a Bears jersey.
Yeah, somebody's getting one. Someone's getting one.
Shout out to Tito again for the $2. We appreciate that. But again, the love and support's been unreal. We got to got to get the Patrick Scales jersey. Absolutely show some love to the special teams.
Yeah. We have a funny comment here from Robert too. Smoothest way is to just give it to me. That's
all right. There it is.
That'd be pretty easy. There it is. There's the winner, Robert. Everyone, thanks for participating. I'm just kidding.
Absolutely. So bold predictions, Ficky. This is it. I'm gonna go first, just so you don't steal it.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So I guess you can bring it up with. I got to remember what I put here. Oh, yeah. Okay. So bold predictions for the Bears versus Lions game. I'm going Justin Fields. I'm starting off with him. I'm going 4 touchdowns, 4 total touchdowns.
Total?
Okay. Yeah. And here's my reason. So so basically the Lions, they have a defense with an overall grade of 71.9 for the season, ranking them 17th in the NFL. However, it's their coverage. Obviously we talked about it, Ficky. You said it. Their coverage, their pass coverage is it's beatable. It's not great. I believe they're 22nd in the NFL. So for me, I feel like Justin coming back, sure. Is it a tough game? Yes, but I believe it's a tough game to win, not necessarily for Justin to play well in, just because of the defense of the Lions. Not that they're scrubs. Aiden Hutchinson is going to be a problem. They got some dogs, but the Bears offensive line, we touched on it earlier, is playing very, very well. They're getting guard Nate Davis back. Cody Whitehair is to the bench. However, he's a very good, solid bench player. So for me, I think Justin has an opportunity here to really kind of keep where he's going, because the last 2 full games he played, he accounted for 4 touchdowns each game. So I'm going bold here. I almost went with 3, but I thought that would be too, so I went 4.
No,
that's my first bold prediction, though.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I will piggyback the Justin Fields talk, which would help your case. And Fields throws over 300 yards this game. I know that may not seem bold. He's done it before. I think he's only done it once in his career, so maybe it is bold, right? Once. So, yes, this is actually a bold prediction then. Fields throws for 300 yards, all for the same reasons that you talked about. The defense isn't as strong as what people are putting it out to be. Or I think it's just because, Lions are a great team. We're not arguing that. But the greatness is more on that offensive side. So the defensive side is still kind of, it can be beat. Some games they show up more than others, which is, the life of the NFL. But I could see a possibility where Fields does have a stat line of 3 touchdowns. 3 passing touchdowns or 2 passing touchdowns, 300 plus yards, and maybe 2 rushing touchdowns, something like that. You know what I mean? So it's definitely doable. Let's see what happens. And also I think there's just motivation. The man's been not playing for 4 weeks, depending on how his thumb feels. We don't know that, but like he knows what's on the line. This man is going to show up and kind of just play Justin ball. That's what I feel like. I feel like he's going to come and be, hey, look, I'm just going to, play how I play because it's either this or I'm no longer on this team. You know what I mean? His career, maybe not his full career, but like his career with the Bears is definitely ticking. So
and he kind of talked about it. They asked him, I think someone asked him on the presser, said, do you feel any pressure? Is there any, meaning to these last 7 games? And he was just real nonchalant about, like, not really, he's not going to change anything, which I think that's just Justin. He's very, even keel. So for me, is that right? Even keel?
Yeah. Even keel, right? Yeah.
I thought I was messing that up. It sounded right, but I'm like, am I messing that up? Anyway, I apologize. Right. Again, I'm under weather, man, so all my brain is all foggy. But I'm glad I got that correct as far as that saying goes. But my second bold prediction, Ficky, for this game is I want to go to Montez Sweat. He didn't secure any sacks last week against Bryce Young. However, we all know he had 8 total pressures, the most since Robert Quinn in 2020. So for me, I think he's going to convert some of these pressures. He's going to get 1.5 sacks.
Cool. I mean, I could see that.
On his way to 10.
He's bound to get some. I easily could see him. I think he'll get 1. I think that's for sure. And if he gets 1.5, I'm even cool with that. I think Billiam here agrees with you. He said, bold prediction, Sweat gets not just his first Bear sack, but he gets 2, maybe like 4 or 5 team sacks on the game. So kind of 2 bold predictions.
Man, I mean, the offensive line for the Lions is pretty damn good.
Is pretty good. So I wouldn't say that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, the offensive line with Penny Sewell and like their offensive line is pretty good. So I don't know about the team getting 4 or 5. If the team gets 4 or 5 sacks,
Bears win.
I honestly think, we win. Yeah, because that kills off like 2 drives. Yeah, easy. So, all right, is it my turn for my second one?
Yeah.
Okay, well, defensive as well. All right. I think we get 1 interception on Goff.
Okay.
Now, that may not seem like a bold prediction, but this offense is so good, and Goff has been playing really well. Like, he doesn't turn the ball over that often. So I think we get 1. Now, does that mean the defense doesn't give up 400 yards in total? You know what I mean? Like, does not mean they get – I mean, they probably won't give up that much, but, like, does it mean that the defense overall plays well? No. But maybe, just maybe, we get a turnover, which will lead to my final bold prediction, which I'll wait for after you give yours.
Okay. I don't want to take this from you. So do you just want to go with your – let's switch it up. You go with your final.
We have the same one?
Might.
No, go ahead. I always take yours, so go ahead. I want to see
what you got. My final – that is true. My final bold prediction, which, again, you can check out this article on sportsmarket.com where I put it up. Bears defense produces 2 turnovers this game. In recent weeks, the Bears have improved. I feel like turnovers is getting better. We talked about their, where they rank within the last 6 games. But just to stay competitive, to make this a even close or winnable game, I think they're going to have to get to Goff or just get some better field position, capitalize on a turnover. Justin and the offense is going to have to convert that into points, preferably touchdowns, just because the Lions are going to they're going to score. I mean, the Bears defense, it's improved, but it's still, I think it's 22nd in the NFL or something like that. It's a long way to go.
Rush defense is where it's really at.
And the Lions like to run the ball. I mean, Monty, David Montgomery revenge game is definitely possible. They got the rookie Jahmyr Gibbs, who's very, very good. I mean, that is a very solid running back room. Solid. I'm not going to say it's probably like a top 5, man. It's probably a top 5 running back room right there. And man, I do kind of miss Monty, but for me, I'm going 2 turnovers. I don't know if it's interception. I don't know if it's fumbles or special teams. I just feel like you need to get 2 turnovers here to kind of keep this game close. And we'll get to our game predictions later, but that's how I'm feeling. Did I take what you were?
No, you didn't. You did not intercept mine there. So, you see what I did there.
I'm out of here, man.
So mine, why I said mine was leading to this one's because I think the turnover keeps us in this game as long as possible. So my last one is that I think the game is decided within the final 2 minutes of the 4th. I think it's a
Okay.
one possession game somehow, right? Whether it's 8 points, 7 points, 4, 3, whatever it is. I think somehow we manage to stay in the game because our defense gives up some, you know what I mean? Like the Lions are going to score, but our offense is able to match it on the other side. So that's my final one, which I don't think a lot of people seeing us being close. That's why I said it was a bold prediction. I mean, they're a 7-2 team, and they're playing. How many wins we have? 3. So like it's to make it a close-ish game. I think would be a bold expectation there.
Okay. Hey man, I'll take it. I mean, I'm hoping it's a close game, and I know we'll get to our predictions here in a little bit. I want to go ahead and remind everyone again, if you guys have any questions, we're going to take those here in a little bit, but just throw them in there. If you guys have questions about the game, about Justin, really about anything Bears related, go ahead and send it over. We'll go ahead and try and get those answered. If there is any, I think we have another super chat from Tito.
We do. We'll get to that before. Yeah. Just pull that up real quick. I was actually going to show some other predictions real quick. So
yeah, let's see.
From some of our supporters, Dagun with the Bears News said DJ Moore of 100. I could see that. He's definitely capable of doing that. Again with Komet,
especially with Justin being back.
Absolutely. Komet with 2 touchdowns, can also see that. He's done that before this year. And then Alexis Jade said Darnell Mooney 1 touchdown. So
okay.
So yeah, that would be great. And we both feel like that's possible if we're throwing 300 yards and Fields has 4 total touchdowns. So he's obviously the supporting cast is going to have to show up. So then going to Tito again, thank you for the super chat here. $5. Seriously. He says, how many wins does Fields need in the last 7 to be a starter in 2024? Or you think the team is done with him? I say keep him and give Marvin Harrison Jr. next season. So me and Dave kind of spoke on this a little bit earlier. I'm not going wins because a quarterback win isn't a good tell of wins isn't a good tell of like quarterback play.
Wins is not a QB stat.
There we go. It's
in my opinion.
I agree. There's so much that goes into it. Like if we were doing that, we'd look back at the 12-4 season and be like, holy cow, Mitch is a GOAT, right? No, that team won because of the defense. So I would say though, we said if there's 7 games, for me personally, if 5 of them have to be good or above, and the other 2 that aren't like good or above, they have to be at like mid. Like, it wasn't a horrible game. Like it wasn't bad, but he didn't do anything like crazy. You know what I mean? And then Dave was on the other side to say like 6 in essence, right? 6 of them have to be like really good, and one of them has to be like average, whatever.
Because say we lose, because these are very very losable games. You know,
yes.
It's a tough matchup. You got the Vikings who are playing well. You got Arizona and Atlanta that are very winnable games. You got the Packers that could be winnable as well. So you got 3 right there. But then you got the Browns, which I know they're not going to have Deshaun Watson, but that defense is still nasty. And, you know, maybe there's some demons that Fields wants to slay when he goes back to Cleveland.
I forgot about that.
These games are winnable. However, they're also not. So it's like if Fields goes out there and he plays his ass off and he shows, you know, in his return, he just dominates. And he, you know, as far as consistency and taking less sacks, which Tyson Bagent, that's something that, you know, I know we said we'd talk about it, but Tyson Bagent could kind of teach Fields a little something about maybe not taking a sack. You're not holding onto the ball too damn long. And it's been a problem since college. And I know we kind of harp on it, but it's like, I think Fields, maybe he realizes something and, you know, sitting there for those, you know, 6 games or 4 games that he was out, he comes out and plays a little bit differently, gets the ball out, you know, doesn't take a sack, throws the ball away a little bit more. I know he wants to extend plays and I don't want that to stop because he's, you know, elite as far as just extending those and running and maybe passing too, to an extent. So for me, it's like, if he can just play very, very well and just be consistent and they only win 3 of those 7, but he plays very, very good and those numbers look awesome.
That's all that matters.
Then you have a conversation. So
that's all that matters. It answers that same question we talked about.
But I'll tell you what, man, if he plays well and they win like 6-5 games.
Oh, wow.
He's coming back, and and Tito, what you said about, you know, trading back, getting Marvin Harrison Jr., getting an edge rusher, man, the Bears will be cooking because if Fields is the guy, that's always the best case scenario. It really is. So
we do have
thank you again.
A Detroit We do have a Detroit fan in here, Don Burr, who's joined the show before. He said Detroit versus every damn body. You know what? That's fair. First off, thank you for hopping on, taking time of your day to join our pod. But yeah, you guys look good. So I'm not. You're the better team. So I'm not.
I didn't know we had Detroit Lions fans on here sometimes.
Hey, we got everyone. We're worldwide, baby. So
I'm happy for the Lions. Just hopefully this week and when we play them a couple weeks from now, I hope we just win those games. You guys don't need them. You're 7-2.
Win the rest of them. You'll
finish the season. With 4 losses, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Good for them, though.
Yeah, absolutely. For a fan base that's been down bad, yeah, then good for them. Good for them.
Yep, absolutely. So I think we have. Let me see here. I wanted to bring up the Bears versus Lions right now. They are 10-point favorites, the Lions right now, which is a lot. The over/under is at 47 points. Ficky, what are you taking here? I think
I'm gonna go over.
Clear. Yeah,
I'm going over. Yeah. I think. Well, it could go 2 ways. The Bears offense and the Lions offense show up, or the game is so bad the Lions offense scores like 36 of their own. You know what I mean? Like they basically take up 80% of that line. So yeah, I think it's gonna be over.
Yeah. Let me see here. So, yeah, I think they'll cover. I guess we can get to our predictions here, if you want, Ficky.
Well, do you want to talk about Tyson real quick? Tyson versus Fields
and the sacks.
Yeah.
I mean, it is interesting. I don't know exactly how much you want to go into it, so I'll bring it up here. But it was from Pro Football Talk, and it basically goes: Tyson Bagent has the NFL's lowest sack percentage. Justin Fields has the second highest. So again, it really, I don't know what camp you fall in, Ficky, in regards to kind of sacks, if they're a reflection directly on the quarterback. How do you feel about that? Just overall. And for the comments here on YouTube, let us know as well how you feel about sacks and if it should be attributed to the quarterback or if, just let us know how you feel. But Ficky, take it away, man.
Yeah, I think it's a mixed bag, right? Obviously, it's a team sports. There's multiple things that go into all of these stats. We talked about already earlier. Tyson played with a much better line, I would say, as a whole, right? So that goes into it. But also, Tyson made very decisive throws. I still think Fields is the better quarterback. Like, there's no doubt about that. But there are times where Tyson just, ripped it. You know what I mean? But there's also times where I'm like, well, Tyson threw some interception. Well, the dude had 9.5 turnovers. He threw picks that Fields is not throwing. So maybe Fields takes a sack there, right? Instead, but he doesn't do a turnover. Or maybe it's a fumble on a sack too, because that happens, but it's not a pick. So yes, that stat is important. Do we want Fields to be the second highest in that category? Absolutely not. We've talked about that. He needs to be faster with his decisions, decide when, to bail out, to throw it away, things like that. But I'm not going to look at that and be like, oh my God, like Fields, you could, this should be you, or like, to keep Tyson in and things like that. No, there's so much that goes into it. So let's see. I know like the hot word right now is drop back, right? Like if you look at any Bears post of like Fields during practice, it's like faster drop back, faster drop back, faster drop back. So we'll see how that plays out moving forward. And then also Fields has been not playing for 4 weeks. So this has all been like a bye, I would say, and like maybe scheming of the offense that we saw with like the Patriots. Maybe they designed some things, or they've been cooking up some things for Fields in the background that will help alleviate that high sack rate. And then Fields also talked about himself on the sideline, right? Having the different perspective of seeing why plays are called, seeing how they are executed, things like that. Maybe that will help deepen his knowledge. And maybe I'm just being too optimistic, but maybe he takes that in and then moves forward to, have less of those, long time in the pocket getting fucked up here and there. So,
yeah. Well, I'm pretty passionate about this. I have so my take. So first of all, JG on YouTube, he goes 50-50 in my opinion. Sack numbers go down when you check it down. I think that's very, very fair. It's kind of what I was alluding to. I'm going to finish up just kind of reading some more from the article about the difference in Fields and Bagent. So among the 33 quarterbacks with enough dropbacks to qualify, Bagent ranks first in the NFL, having been sacked on just 3.4% of his dropbacks. Fields ranks 32nd, the second worst in the NFL, having been sacked on 12.9% of his dropbacks. This has been a common theme of Fields' career. In 2022, Fields was sacked on 14.7% of his dropbacks. And again, it's just something that he's kind of had issues with since he's been in the league, coming out of college too. But for me personally, how I feel is, sure, that is so cool for Tyson, but look at his performance. Like, what has he done? Like, sure, you're not taking sacks, but you're throwing interceptions, like left and right, you're turning the ball over. So I like the idea that Fields can maybe learn from that, and maybe, but he already knew that. And so for me, it's like, it's just something in his clock that he needs to learn to kind of just throw it away. One. And then also he needs to understand pressures. Like the Vikings, when he got hurt, they were just throwing the house at him. And Getsy and everyone knew that the Vikings do this. This is what their defense was. And now they're on a 5-game, 6-game winning streak. But for me, it's like Tyson is a good backup right now. He has a lot to learn. But sure, him not taking sacks is great, but he's checking the ball. He's getting the ball out quick, but nothing's really coming from it for the most part. So Fields, he was already kind of better this year. Sure, he got hurt trying to extend a play, but he's always going to try and do that. He's going to try to extend plays because he has that unique ability, and sometimes it's elite especially last year, when he's breaking those runs off. So for me personally, I don't like the sack being attributed, specifically to a quarterback, because there are a lot of factors, the offensive line play, and everything like that. But when it comes to the biggest thing for me with Fields is just recognizing pressures, especially against a blitz-heavy team. That's going to keep you out of harm's way, allow you to take less sacks, get your protections lined up before before the snap. Those things right there, above the head is what needs to kind of click a little bit more for Fields in these last 7 games, because I don't think it's really attributed to other things. I don't think him looking to extend a play is a bad thing, because you want a quarterback in this day and age in football to be able to have that trait. We saw it with Bajent. I don't think he has that. Sure, he could move a little bit, but sometimes, man, he was like watching Nick Foles run. Tyson just wasn't that quick on some of those plays. Sure, he looked great scrambling. But anyways, I'm rambling. You're muted, Ficky. That felt good to say.
I think that's my first one this season.
That felt weird. Twilight
Nick,
Zone.
Nick, though, come on. He's everybody's faster than Nick. Come on,
Nick Foles,
Big
bro.
D
Yeah, he
Nick.
looked like when Nick Foles was playing for the Bears, he looked like he was running like -4 miles per hour. It was brutal.
Slow,
and Tyson is obviously faster. I know,
much faster.
But for me, it's like when he was evading pressure, and then also I think they called a couple QB designed runs. He just looked really slow.
Well, why that is because we're used to seeing someone who's extremely fast.
Who runs a 4.2 and
yeah, someone who's like gone. So yeah, Axe here had a great comment, and he said Fields needs to be more audible at the line. I want to see him read defensive pre-snap. O-line isn't a scapegoat every play. I agree, and I think David, I'm pretty sure you agree with me too. O-line is a factor, but it's not the end all be all. Fields has also not shown up in certain areas. So it's easy. There's blame to go around, right? I think now, which we stated earlier, is that there's less blame that we're going to put on the offensive line because they've been playing really well and the healthy group's there. You know what I mean? So unless they're atrocious, like if Fields is not playing well, you can scratch that off and be like, this is probably more Fields than anything else. So good thing is that we can get rid of that excuse and we can start to evaluate right away and be like, hey, look, what are we seeing? All right, either that's a check, Fields looks good, or it's not. So it will be good to see for sure.
Yeah. Hey, I like this one too. We talked about it when Max said it after the Chargers game, but Dagun with the Bears news on YouTube, his comment here, you hear Max say he's glad they didn't have to face Fields. And exactly.
Let's be real. The dude is
he was on the top 100 list for a reason, man.
That's why it's so tough, because you look at his skill set and you go, that's a unicorn, right?
That's what you want.
And then he goes out there, and then some games you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For me, that's what I'm saying. It's about it's about, I think it's just about, not that he's slow, because he's a very intelligent player. It's just, it takes a little bit, and some quarterbacks longer than others. But Fields, specifically recognizing blitzes, throwing with anticipation, those things that you can't really, not, you can teach them, but it just takes a little bit. If you don't have it right away, it takes a while to develop. And so for me, Fields, I don't know if he has enough time in Chicago to kind of get that under, get that all situated, but I hope so.
7 games.
And
he's got 7 games.
7 games. We have a question here. It goes from Jay on YouTube. He goes, does Fields break a big one this game? How are you feeling, Ficky?
That's a great question. If he does, I won't be surprised. But these teams have been scheming him pretty well. But I think what's more likely to happen instead of a big run, I think he has a big passing play. I think he throws something that goes for like 60 yards somehow, whether that's a lot of yards after catch or whatever it is. I think we're more likely to see big passing plays than we are running. Would I be surprised? But also think about this. I think it was last year where Fields had like 180 rushing yards on the Lions. He had that one run again, on Akuda for a touchdown. So like, I think they're well aware of what Fields can do. Honestly,
I'm surprised that he hasn't broke a big one. I know he's missed some time, but I'm just shocked he hasn't had I want to know what his longest run on the year is. I guess I can look
probably,
it up. We haven't like seen 30. A 50-yarder.
No.
So
no.
We need one. And like you said,
we need a couple.
I think, Jay, man, I think you're onto something here. Maybe we get one. Give me a 50-yard, but I want it to be a touchdown.
Absolutely.
Run,
Yeah, we need one. We'll see what happens.
All right, Ficky. If you guys have any other questions, throw them in the chat. We'll go ahead and mark them, and we'll answer them the best we can at the end of the pod. We're going to go ahead and get to our predictions. You guys can participate too. Ficky, I got to get some water here.
No, you're good, bro. While Dave gets some water, because he might be dying over there, we're going to do our bold predictions. And then obviously, if you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat. If you have some predictions, we'll go ahead and show them on the screen as well. Dave, do you want to start with yours? Or you want me to go first?
Yeah. No. Wait. Game predictions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. My
sorry, game. Not bold. My fault.
I thought you said bold predictions. So
I definitely did. I meant game predictions. Game predictions.
All right.
Final score predictions is what I meant.
Yeah. Final score predictions. Sorry about that again. I had to get some water for our Apple Spotify listeners. I'm over here trucking through this, trying my best. But my game predictions here. So the Bears are 10-point dogs here against the Detroit Lions, who are 7-2. They are in Detroit. So for me, my game prediction, I'm going to go 31-21 Lions. I think 31-21 Lions. I'm not feeling too confident. I'm hoping it'd be a little bit closer, maybe 31-28. And perhaps there might even be more, points. And if you go off my bold predictions, 4 touchdowns from Fields, obviously we got to get to 28, but this is game predictions. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more relative, a little bit more realistic. So I'm going to go 31-21, 10-point loss in Detroit, but I think there'll be some good things, something to build on. It should be a good start for Fields in his return. So we'll see.
Yeah.
How about you, man?
Kind of close, but one of my bold predictions was that the game's going to come down to the last one. And I actually, out of all my bold predictions, I feel a little bit most confident in that. And how we get there could be a whole different way. It could be up 2 possessions in our last drive. We march down and then we try to go onside. Don't get it. We lose, something like that. But I'm going 34 Detroit, 27 us. So that's 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals for us. And basically the Lions have the same thing, but another touchdown. So they have 4 touchdowns, 2 field goals. So definitely a high scoring game. I think that
I would love that.
There's an opportunity to see that. Yeah. If we're going to lose, I'd rather go out like that.
My perfect game would be like a 38-35 Bears win. Justin game-winning drive. Maybe that's a field goal for Cario Santos, who has just been money. Speaking of Cario, that's actually something I want to bring up. And I know I'm rambling here, but it was a quote by him this week. And let's talk about his fresh start in Chicago when he came here a couple of years ago. He said, "I came to the hardest place to kick to try and save my career. It was either going to end here or it was going to restart. And I thought that was a badass quote because he is a top 5 kicker, maybe top 3 even. You can debate about it. You can
He's
talk
top. I
about
mean,
it.
but still top 5.
He's
If
just
you're a
so
top
good.
5 kicker, that means you're good. You're not missing kicks.
He's so
I
good. We need to extend him, get a deal done with him because he is a free agent next year. So for me, I'm best case scenario, and maybe you can do that too, Ficky. You kind of already have one though, but best case scenario for me is Bears win 38-35. They score points. Yeah, the defense is going to struggle a little bit, but it's the Lions. We understand that. Ben Johnson and those guys are going to do what they do. But to win this game away, in Detroit, hostile territory, and you get a game-winning drive, that's a hell of a start to 7 games. That means a lot to Fields and his time in Chicago. So, and then we have a bunch of predictions here that we can get to.
I shared them all. So we have like 23. Yeah, I shared them all on the screen. So cool. Steven said 23-20. Cairo steals the game with the field goal. So low scoring game there.
Okay.
Sports from the trenches is 24-17. Bears win on a Justin last minute drive. Then JG said Bears win 31-24. Field says 310 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jay. Yeah, 1 rushing. DJ Moore 100 yards for a tutty, and then in parentheses says optimistic. Yes, that'd be very optimistic.
He had to throw that in there.
yeah, just to let us know that he's not high as hell with that prediction. And then Billiam here says Bears lose unfortunately, but make the Lions sweat a bit. 30-28. I wouldn't be upset about that.
Yep.
And then Shane Ward said, depending on Getsy, 36-31 Lions. Fields gets 3 touchdowns and 340 yards. Axe here says Lions 42, Bears 9. I really hope that doesn't happen. That's 3 field goals. That's not even a touchdown. I hope that's not the case. We got to get into
there will be no post-game pod if it's 42-9.
42. I mean, the funny thing is that it could actually be that. Like, I'm not putting it past this team. But my God, I hope that's not the case. Please. So
no, there will be a post game pod.
Yeah, we'll still be on. We'll be very sad, and we'll have some tissues and shit because we'll definitely be upset. But we do have a question here from Axe. How do you rate Poles' decision on David Montgomery in the running back situation? I think he made the right call. I'll go first on this one. I agree. David Montgomery's looking good, right? He's looking good to great. But also their offensive, I think we keep taking away. Their offensive line is easily top 3 in the NFL. They have a great offensive line. And to not pay that money, I know like David Montgomery is great and things like that. But the fact is he left, and look at our rushing offense. If he was that good, right, when he leaves, you would expect that we'd have a major drop off. But even with no David Montgomery, Khalil Herbert out 4 games. Darrington, friend of the show, Darrington Evans coming in, who's no longer on the team, which sucks. And then Deontay Foreman, who didn't even play the first 6 games. With that mix of running backs, we're still top 3 in the league in rushing. So that tells you that this running back by committee type of philosophy, which is more of the new age type of thing, can still work in your favor. And you can take that, he got 13 million, I think. You can take that 13 million and use it elsewhere, right? So I'm not upset about the move. I'm happy. It's not that I'm happy Monty's gone, but I'm okay with him being gone. And I'm also happy that he's balling out in Detroit. It's literally a win-win. We save money. Yeah. We don't put money where it doesn't need to be. And he still looks good wherever he go, to the team he went to. He didn't go to a shitty team. So it's good to see, in my opinion. I think it was the right move. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I love Monty. So from like a fan perspective, I wish he could have stayed. I don't think his contract was that bad. 3 years, 15 million, if I remember, or something like that. I was shocked when he did sign with Detroit. I thought the Bears would get a deal done with him. But right now he has 500 total yards on the season. You look at Deontay Foreman, who's 371, who's played less time. He's still being productive. He has 3 touchdowns. I think Monty kind of been a touchdown machine this year. He has 7 on the year. So you kind of factor in the Lions, and you talked about it, the offensive line, the way they run the ball, Ben Johnson. They got some really good players over there. So for me, I would have loved Monty to stay, but I don't think you can't knock the Bears or Poles on this one because it's been such a productive running back room. Shout out to our guy Darrington Evans, who was waived today from the Bears. He's going to land somewhere. He's going to find his spot. He could be back with the Bears. Who knows? But he's going to be fine.
He could.
The running back position, I love Monty, but I think we're in good hands. So I agree with you, man. Good question.
By the way, we do have this random update, JG, and we want to thank you first of all before I get this comment. On Thursdays, we appreciate you guys hop on here and watch. I know there's Thursday Night Football on, so we do appreciate that. But Jay said random, but Joe Burrow just hurt his wrist and is out of the game. That's tough because he was injured in the beginning, wasn't playing well, then got fully healed and went, played like how Joe Burrow plays, and then he's out again. So it's tough. A lot of QB injuries around the league this year. Deshaun just had his shoulder surgery. He's out for the rest of the year. Obviously, Fields was out for four games. You got Burrow, who's out in the beginning and then is out now. So
Rodgers
out literally 3 plays. He's out. Like there's been
Cousins.
They got out for the year.
Vikings now have Josh Dobbs.
Astronaut baller though, bro. I love the Josh. I love the Josh Dobbs story.
Cool,
he just
man.
Everywhere he goes, just does what he
I think that Monday night matchup with the Bears, I know they're not flexing it out, thank God.
Right.
You don't want to lose the Chicago market. They're going to do anyway. But
especially
Bears versus Vikings, man. Fields versus Dobbs. That could be electric.
Why not?
That could be fucking fun, man.
Fields performs well as Fields. God, it's so hard to say. Fields performs well during prime time as well. So I feel like good about that. Fields performs well. That shit was hard. Man. So
no, I feel that, man. I think the Bears are interesting. I think Sundays are going to be a little bit more fun now. Knock on wood that Fields kind of can stay consistent, stay healthy. But we have a lot to look forward to. Shout out to you guys again. Yeah, Ficky mentioned, great point. Thursday Night Football's on. Pretty good matchup. I know Joey B's out right now, but Bengals versus Ravens is a fun one. So if you're tuning in here, we appreciate it. I think we're going to get out of here, though. We'll be back Sunday right after the game. Right, Ficky? We should be good.
Absolutely. After the dub.
We'll be right after. I know the last couple episodes, it's been, post maybe a day or two. But this one, we'll be right back at it 30 minutes after the game or so. We'll be there. And we'll react to it. It'll be fun. Hopefully it's a fun game. Maybe a Bears win. That would be interesting. That would
definitely be interesting.
That would be,
more importantly, hopefully a Panthers loss against the Cowboys. So
yes,
that's
going to happen.
It's the Cowboys though. You never know. They be doing some dumb stuff sometimes. So hopefully they come out to play. So, but Dak's been looking good. So hopefully that's a loss over there. So, and then last thing, Sports from the Trenches said, get them likes up. Absolutely. If you enjoyed the show, the pod, it's free. Just give us a subscribe, like. We appreciate all that. And then to double down again, if you're just now joining, we have a giveaway going on right now where we're giving away a free jersey of your choice, whether that be an all-time great like Walter Payton or a current great Trenton Gill, right? The punter for the Bears. All you have to do is subscribe to the pod, follow Dave and I on Twitter. It's Ficky Baby, me, Dave _BFR. There you go. And if you go to Dave's page right now, or even the BFR, you'll see the post about it. And all you have to do is just follow us, subscribe to the page, and then you'll get entered into a giveaway where we will determine a winner. We'll contact you on Twitter, and then you'll get a free jersey of your choice. So what's better than that? Who doesn't like free shit? In today's economy, hell yes.
So. Absolutely. And Bears jerseys aren't cheap, man. So
they are not.
Why not just get a free one? But, yep, I have it right here. 2K subs. To enter, just go like this tweet, sub to our YouTube if you're already there, and then just go ahead and follow the 3 accounts that Ficky said, which BFR Pod right here is the BFR podcast. We are right now nearing 7,000 on our Twitter. So if we can get there, that would be awesome. Ficky, follow our guy over there. It's Ficky Baby. He also released some new music. I know we won't talk about it, but check it out. Hit the link over here on his bio. Show some love, Spotify, Apple. And then, of course, you can check me out on Twitter as well. And, of course, the podcast is presented by Sports Mockery. We want to give them some love. We wouldn't be here without them. We love it. Great Bears news over there. A lot of great writers. Of course, if you want to just stay up to the Chicago news, go ahead and check them out. So, but I think that's about it, Ficky. Appreciate you all. I don't know how I sound. I'm not even going to listen to this back, but
No, you kind of sound more like me because I have that natural rasp. So I kind of like it. You're kind of matching my vibe. So
natural rasp.
It's all good.
No more nerd Dave, I guess.
No. That's not even it. It's the what was that one comment from someone? They said you look like a AI generated fan. I thought that was the funniest.
God, so
I can't remember who it is. But
that was on my tweet. It was a post game pod that you kind of pushed. Ficky is known for his post game pods this year, and I started doing some. I haven't done in a while, but I'll do one maybe after Fields. But fun to do. But yeah, someone quote tweeted and said, this is what an AI generated fan would look like. I don't think I've done one since. But,
you got him down bad, whoever that was. No, but that comment was hilarious. Also, if you comment stuff and it's funny, like if I think it's funny, I will give you all the love. I will retweet it. Funny. There's nothing better than a funny tweet. So even if it's at my downfall, if you're making fun of me, like I don't even care. If it's funny, you'll get some love from your boys. So make sure to follow me on Twitter for those chances.
Absolutely. And Ficky, you dropped I know we don't talk about it a lot, but your mixtape. What is the name of it?
Yeah, it's called Darty. It's Darty, and you can find it on literally any streaming platforms. Just look Ficky up. Like, there's no one else named that. So I will definitely be the first one to come up. And the project's called Darty, which is a day party type of essence. It's like, 8 songs, 2 skits, about 10 different things on there. It's just good vibes, you know what I mean? So you can play it. I like to play it when I'm pissed watching our team, like, be down, because it's just, like, more of the opposite. You know what I mean? It's more like good vibes, upbeat type stuff. So, and if you don't, it's all good. It's all good. If you check it out, I appreciate you taking the time. All love over here. We'll at least see you at the pod. Yeah.
So this is it. If you're on YouTube, Ficky, this is a Spotify. This is where I'm bringing it up. Right here, Darty. We got 10 songs, 25 minutes. Just go show some love. I know we don't talk about it, but
that's like a quarter of football, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Just put that baby on play.
Absolutely. But we appreciate all the love again. Hit the like button if you're still here. Check out the giveaway on our Twitter, BFR_pod. And then we will be back Sunday to recap, hopefully, a Bears win. And again, we appreciate all the love. So we'll see you then.
Absolutely. Peace.